All right, so since we don't have quorum tonight, we just only need one more board member to start this meeting. We could start on on agenda item number 3, which are reports. So I believe Nicolas Chavez is here from Council District 15. Do you have any reports?
Good evening, everyone. Don't really have a lot of news to share, but a few items. First off, Caltrans is performing a cleanup on 116th and Figueroa along the railroad tracks. I was there this morning with them. We're gonna have out homeless services team there tomorrow and Thursday to provide services for anyone who accepts, but they are performing that cleanup. Also,
Nicholas, just to clarify, 115th between what streets?
it was they were started this morning at 116th and Fig along the railroad tracks.
116 or 115?
116.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. And in other news on the county side, but very close to our borders, there was an RV fire along Broadway and Alondra, and I will be meeting soon with Holly Mitchell's office to discuss some of the environmental impacts that these constant RV fires are having on the air, especially being so close to the gateway. And another good news, I did want to thank the LA Jazz Society. They had 2 concerts this past week at Gardena Elementary and 118th Elementary. And the kids were very happy. It was great to see the arts and the kids really enjoying the arts. And also for anyone that lives close to 118th Elementary or has kids that go there, there will be a coffee with the principal this Friday at 9 a.m. I will be there as well. And the only other bit of news that I have is the Harbor Gateway will have a town hall. It'll be Saturday, March 11th. And I'm still confirming the location, but the date will be Saturday, March 11th. And that's all I have for today. If there's any questions, I'd be free to answer.
So just to clarify, the town hall would be with Councilmember McCosker?
Yes, so the town hall would be with Councilmember McCosker. We're working to have LAPD there as well, both Officer Bravo and Officer Martinez from the north side. And it'll be a joint, people from Harbor Gateway South will be there and everyone here would be invited. And as soon as I have the location and a flyer, I'll provide that to you, but the date would be Saturday, March 11th.
Cool. And do you have any idea of like the venues that you might want to choose? Is it going to be like a school or just or church or whatever?
Yeah, so it's a school. I'm just working on getting the permit finalized, and as soon as everything is good to go, I'll have flyers, so I'll email them to you as well as Rosalie to share on them.
Sounds good.
And Miguel, just so you're aware, Laura Garcia's here.
Okay.
I believe she's from CD8, but.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. All right.
And I am here, Miguel.
Oh,
Joan.
okay. So yeah, we do have a.
Sorry, I'm on the phone, but
No worries. All right. So I guess we could start the meeting at 6:43 p.m. All right. Thank you, everyone. Welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. Rosalie, do you want to do roll call?
Miguel Vasquez,
Present.
Joan Jacobs,
present.
Rosalie Preston, present. Piers Fairclough,
Here.
Keith Pitts.
Present.
Arvie Powell,
Present.
Jodette Span,
Present.
Will Yates,
Present.
Richard Lee,
Present.
and Craig Kusanokey.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
All right, sounds good. All right, moving on to agenda item number 2, the general public commentary and non-agenda items that are within the neighborhood council's jurisdiction. If you're on your phone, please press *9 to raise your hand and *6 to unmute. Please keep in mind that each speaker has 2 minutes. All right. Does anyone have any public commentary on non-agenda items? It seems like we don't. All right, moving on. All right, so going back to agenda item number 3, we already had a report from CD15 from Nicholas Chavez. We'll then move on to, let's see, reports from the mayor's office, and I believe Jocelyn Dominguez is not here. But then we'll move on to Los Angeles County Supervisor District, 2nd District. And I believe that's Laura Garcia, correct, Rosalie?
Yes, she's raising her hand, so I believe she is
Hello?
representing Council District 8.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Laura?
Hi, yes, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So hi, everyone. Just like to quickly introduce myself. My name is Laura Garcia. I am the field deputy, the Southeast field deputy for Councilmember Marquise Harris Dawson's office. Typically, I am unable to make these meetings because they tend to fall on the same day and time as the Southeast Neighborhood Council, which is why, I try to find ways to divvy that up, but I was able to stop by today and just wanted to provide a quick report of some of the things that have been going on in the district, as well as things that are upcoming that I'd like to invite you all to. First and foremost, most recently, we collaborated with the mayor's office to host an entertainment industry career workshop for youth at the YMCA on Century in Vermont. It was very successful. About 50 youth were able to stop by, and overall great event put together by one of her area reps. Secondly, I wanted to just highlight the fact that our office has been able to have 2 inside safe operations, again, led by the mayor's office. And in these operations, one of them was on 87th and Western, the other one was off on the 110 freeway, off the Century off-ramp. I know these are outside of your boundaries, but just wanted to give that update. A total of 64 people were able to get housed. And these have been problematic locations for our office for the last almost 2+ years. So it's a huge win, and we're very excited to see the momentum that's going on. More specific to your neighborhood council, I've been working with a lot of the residents on 115th Street between Hoover and Figueroa. There's been, lots of issues in that area, going from illegal dumping to RVs to speeding. And thankfully, we try to get on top of it as much as possible. I've been working with Officer Martinez, and we've been communicating with the residents often, and trying to just continuously assist as best as possible. Most recently, we were able to provide maintenance on the signage in that area, particularly a stop sign that needed dire update.
This is Jane. Hello. Yes. Yes. This is Jane. I call you again.
Hello, I'm sorry. Did someone mention something? It was hard to hear.
No, Joan somehow, I think, is having trouble with her phone connection. So
Oh, gotcha.
continue
Okay.
on.
So the last two things I wanted to mention are upcoming events that I'd like to invite you all to. Again, it's outside of maybe your scope or your area, neighborhood council area, but we are having a Freedom Festival on February 25th at Leimert Park. It'll be from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it'll include performances, but I think what's most important to our office is opportunities to learn more about vacant city jobs. So we're going to have some folks from the personnel department actually be there and try to assist folks with looking through jobs, job opportunities with the city. So if anyone is interested, more than happy to share the flyer with the board. And if you guys can share with everyone on this call, that would be great. Secondly, we're going to be having, our office is also working with Streets LA to having an upcoming open house event to learn more about our infrastructure project that's coming to Broadway. The event will be at Algin Sutton Park, which is on 88th and Hoover, and it'll be on March 25th. I can again send a flyer for that to the board, and if you all could share with anyone that's interested, that would be great. But essentially, Broadway Sud is a huge infrastructure project that's set to break ground by the end of this year. And it impacts Broadway between Manchester and Imperial, all the way down to Imperial. And I'm sorry, Broadway between Manchester and Imperial, and on Manchester between Vermont and Broadway. So the goal of this infrastructure project will be to provide opportunities to include active transportation, urban greening, and lots of stormwater capture improvements. And I think what's most important to our office is dealing with the constant speeding issues that we see on Broadway. So those were my kind of a quick resume of what's been happening, what's to come, and I'll make sure to follow up with flyers. Happy to take any questions.
It doesn't seem like you have any questions. Well, thank you very much, Laura, for the report. All right, so moving on, reports from the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. Freddie Coupe-Ames, welcome.
Oh, are on.
Are on, okay. Okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot. I skipped that one, sorry. Reports from the Los Angeles County Supervisor, that's Second District, are on. Welcome. Sorry about that. Ara?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Ara An, and I am a field deputy from LA County 2nd District Supervisor Holly Mitchell's office. And happy Valentine's Day. I hope everyone is doing well. And as shared at the previous meeting, I wanted to update that there has been reassignment of geographical area within our team. So for Harbor Gateway North, my colleague Robert Jackson will be covering that area. He couldn't make it to the meeting today, but then in the a future meeting when he can join, we'll attend the meeting together so I can introduce him to all of you. And let's see, so for my area, I still have cities of Gardena, Hawthorne, Lawndale, and I have unincorporated area of Del Aire, Weisburn, and El Camino Village. And although I don't have Harbor Gateway area anymore, I still have Gardena High School. So I'll be working with that location moving forward. And so I mentioned that Robert covers North, and my colleague April Johnson, who's the assistant director, she will be covering the South area moving forward. And for tonight, I would like to share notable motions and incidents that happened at the county level and the 2nd District. And in the wake of Monterey Park shooting, the Board of Supervisors passed a few motions last week to strengthen gun regulations. And I would like to share a few items. The first item establishes ordinances to prohibit the sale of .50 caliber guns and ammunition in unincorporated areas of LA County, and prohibits the possession of firearms of county property with certain exceptions. And the second motion calls for the Department of Regional Planning to prepare an ordinance to implement zoning regulations with 1,000 feet buffer between firearm sellers and child-sensitive areas, and for the treasurer and tax collector to prepare final amendments to the county code regarding business licenses to enhance the regulation of guns and ammunition dealers in unincorporated area of the county. And also I'll share one more. So other item calls for the leaders to send a letter to Senator Dianne Feinstein showing support for a Senate bill to raise the minimum age to purchase assault weapons from 18 to 21 and ban the sale, transfer, manufacture, and importation of military style assault weapons, high capacity magazines, and other similar items. And yeah, so that was a big announcement at the last week's meeting. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. And next, I would like to share about our Department of Economic Opportunities grant information that was shared. And so now micro businesses in LA County can apply for grants starting at $2,500. And this grant offers over $54 million in grant awards, one-on-one technical assistance, and other county services to help business recover, stabilize, and grow. And you can visit grants.lacounty.gov. So I'm going to call it the website. It's grants.lacounty.gov. So please share this information to those around you. And I also want to share about the Pandemic Relief Rapid Reemployment Program, which connects small businesses and job seekers to immediate post-pandemic support, including work readiness training, transitional employment opportunities, streamlined hiring, and reduced payroll costs, and more. And depending on your address, applicable information will be shared to you. And I have bit.ly link, which is shorter. So I'm going to go ahead and share it right now. So if you're a job seeker and you want more information, you can visit bit.ly/get career ready. And for businesses, you can visit bit.ly/hire local talent. So one last time, the job seeker, you can visit bit.ly/get career ready, and businesses can visit bit.ly/hire local talent. And this information on the grant has been emailed to Miguel, Rosalie, and the rest of the board. So if you have any questions, please connect with them, and I believe they can share the information with you. And also, I have sent this through email before, but I want to share that LA County Department of Public Health is offering mobile vaccine. So if you know any organization that is interested, or if you're thinking of having events, this can be a great opportunity. So yeah, the link has been shared to the board members, so please check with them, but DPH is asking for at least 14 days notice beforehand. And you can have the mobile clinic bring vaccine for COVID-19, monkeypox, and or flu. So this resource is available for you. Also, let's see. I want to share that Supervisor Mitchell authored a motion to expand healthcare services through doula benefits. And recently in the 2nd District, specifically in Inglewood, there has been an individual by the name of April Valentine who passed away while giving birth. And Board of Supervisors also passed motion to send a letter to Governor Newsom and state leaders to conduct investigation for Centinela Hospital for the handling of tragic incident for Ms. Valentine. And I want to also share that our office, we have been doing racial justice learning exchange event, and we have been having this event at a monthly basis now. And recently, we had a premiere of Birthing Justice, which was in regards to the Black maternal health and high mortality rate for our Black and African American women. And similar to the incident that I share about Miss Valentine, we have discussed about the film and talk about the need for equity and how we can make LA a better place for all groups. And so, yeah, we have many RJLE events coming up throughout the year. We have monthly events, and you can visit our website at mitchell.lacounty.gov to learn more information. And yeah, with that, I will wrap up. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at aan@bos.lacounty.gov. And yeah, I'll be happy to take any questions. Okay, I don't think I see any questions, so I'll pass it to you, Miguel. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to reports from the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. Welcome, Freddie.
Thank you so much. All right. So currently, as you know, right now, currently, as of March 1st, we're expecting neighborhood councils to meet in person or to return in person as the state of declaration will be lifted. However, this is just current information. We don't know if there might be some changes to that. There have been some rumors about that. So we're just trying to see what's going on. But at the very least, there's going to be 2 information sessions being held. One on Thursday, February 23rd from 6 to 7:30 p.m. and the other one being Saturday, February 25th from 1 to 2:30 p.m. I remember I emailed the board with the registration information as well as the link to register. Please do so because this information session will be talking about going back in person and hopefully answering questions about this matter for you. But thankfully, you as a neighborhood council have been proactive in trying to secure a meeting location for your meetings, for your board meetings and also your committee meeting location. Next.
Freddie, just a quick question on that while you're on that. I did register. I found it odd that we couldn't choose what date we wanted to participate on because the Thursday runs into planning and land use. And I was gonna try to do it that Saturday.
Oh, did it only offer you one option of either Thursday or Friday or Saturday?
It didn't give me an opportunity to do either.
Oh, probably
couldn't choose.
because you're probably gonna get an email with the link to both of them, and you can
Okay.
choose which one you want to attend. I will
Okay.
follow up on that though, but thank
Okay.
you for bringing that up.
Thanks.
Okay. So that's for the EVG. Our department also in our monthly profile provided more details from the city clerk's office for your review. I'll be forwarding you that again so that you could re-review what the city clerk has stated for going back to in-person and the like. I'm going to keep mine a little bit short since it is Valentine's Day and I know you need to get through some business. For Council File 22-1070, our department filed a report to City Council. Please review it, see if you want to file a CIS about it. We're trying to advocate for neighborhood councils to amend the City Council to ask for an amendment to the Brown Act so that at least it allows for more flexibility for neighborhood councils to meet virtually. Currently, there is a proposed Senate bill from the state of California, 411 by Portantino, aiming to do just that. In fact, referencing neighborhood councils as a legislative body and trying to help them be able to meet virtually without those restrictions of the teleconferencing of AB 2449. So this has been currently introduced last week. We don't know how fast or slowly it will go. to get through the Senate side and then the Assembly side, and then have it signed by the governor to be enacted in law. So,
Could you repeat the council file for that?
okay, so I mentioned two different things. One was a council file, which is 22-1070, that has our department's report submitted to the Neighborhoods and Community Enrichment Committee. And then I also mentioned Senate Bill 411. That Senate bill by Portantino is aiming to help redefine legislative bodies to include neighborhood council so that they can, and advisory bodies to be able to meet virtually indefinitely. So that is something that's in the works right now, or at least been introduced as of last week. So I just want to highlight that. And then, you are part of Region 12, your elections are coming up. So I look forward to seeing all the work you'll be doing to, bring out the vote for your neighborhood council in the upcoming election. Other than that, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to help.
Well, thank you very much, Freddie. I don't think we have any more questions for you. All right, moving on to agenda item number 4, appointment of additional community impact statement filers. Rosalie, do you have more information about this?
So currently, our neighborhood council only has one authorized filer for community impact statements. Usually we have a letter that the board approves, and then I, as that one filer, there's a online portal, and I just submit it and put in a few sentences summarizing our position on the council file. So I was going to double check, but Freddie can clarify. I think we can have up to 5 authorized filers. Is that correct?
Yes, a total of 5.
Okay, so Miguel Vasquez is interested in being an additional filer, and if any other board members interested, it's, I can walk people through the process. Once they're voted, then the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment will send, there's some simple logon information you have to use, and then I can walk people through that process. So if there's anyone else, otherwise, I'll just make a motion that we add an additional filer for our community impact statements, which would be the chairperson, Miguel Vasquez. If anyone wants to second the motion.
Second the motion.
Thank-
Richard Lee.
Thank you, Richard.
All right, so I guess we vote on this.
Yeah. Oh, question. Can you have to join now to do it, or can it be?
Sure, yeah. Well, I guess that's what we're doing. We're just,
Yes, so, because otherwise we'd have to have another vote on down the line, so.
I mean, it's a great opportunity. So, just to learn how to write these things and file them. So.
Are
Well,
you,
this motion has been moved and seconded. So
Yeah.
do we need to
Yeah,
we
we-
need to refrain? I mean, take our second back or our motion back?
there
for a
could be an amendment if someone,
Yeah.
if Arby's interested.
Okay. So then call for the vote on the motion.
Right, so Arby, are you interested, or you'll wait?
Well, I'll wait. I'll pass up maybe next time.
Okay,
Sounds good. Okay, we will move on and vote.
okay, so vote on the additional community impact filer, Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacobs, Joan, Rosalie Preston, yes, Piers Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Arby Powell,
Yes,
Jodette Span,
Yes.
Lorenzo Johnson,
Yes.
William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Richard Lee,
Yes.
and Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Oh, Angela Springs is here. Angela?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I mean, what I'm voting on?
We're just adding, currently, I am the only board member who can file a community impact statement on behalf of our neighborhood council, and we just added Miguel Vasquez as a second filer.
Oh,
Okay. Okay, motion passes.
All right. Moving on to agenda item number 5. Need that. Okay. So approval of creating an ad hoc environmental justice committee. All right, so do we have a motion to approve the creation of an ad hoc environmental justice committee that was recommended per our guest from the general membership meeting last month, who was the U.S. Assistant Attorney Amanda Bentinelli. So do we have
Yeah.
I'll make that motion, Miguel.
all right, sounds good. Thank
I'll
you.
second,
All right.
I'll second the
Okay,
motion.
thank you, Arby. So the objective of this whole entire new ad hoc committee is to have our stakeholders talk about illegal dumping sites and to report them, to bring data forward to the neighborhood council and well, particularly to this ad hoc environmental justice committee and other, activities that are impacting the environment and affecting the health of others as well. So it'll hopefully be a very impactful committee that will report all this data to the U.S. Assistant Attorney Amanda Bentinelli. And hopefully with that, we can actually get help on the federal level and, just, find solutions to, mitigate these problems. So hopefully, we can find any volunteers in the future and, get this whole project started. So we'll start. And if anyone has any discussions on this environmental justice committee.
So just to clarify, we're expecting then at our next board meeting to appoint the
Correct.
committee members who would be,
Interested, yes.
yes, up to 4 board members and 5 stakeholders if there are 4 board members, but it could be more stakeholders if there are not 4 board members.
Definitely. All right, so it doesn't seem that anyone has any questions or concerns about the ad hoc environmental justice committee. Yes, Lou? Do you have a question, comment, or concern?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
How do you volunteer for this committee? And what did you say about at the next board meeting is when they're going to be appointed?
Yes, so basically right now, we're just approving the creation of the ad hoc environmental justice committee. And in our next meeting, which will be in person at the 135th Street Elementary School, we will be appointing members into the committee. So So right now, we're just basically setting up the grounds for the ad hoc committee, Environmental Justice Committee, and then our next upcoming board meeting, which will be in person, will then start appointing people into it.
But people who are interested can start emailing us, so we have some idea.
So that's pretty much it. Is that all, Lou?
Yes.
Okay, definitely. Okay, cool. All right, so any more questions, comments, or concerns? All right, if not, then we'll vote.
Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacobs. Did Joan drop off? I guess.
I'm not really sure. I mean,
Oh,
she's
she's,
muted, so
okay. Rosalie Preston, yes. Pierce Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Arvie Powell,
Yes.
Jodette Span,
Yes.
Lorenzo Johnson,
Yes.
William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Who did you say, Rosa?
So we're voting on just the creation of the ad hoc Environmental Justice Committee.
Okay, I'm saying, did you say my name?
Yes, are you voting yes, no, or abstain?
Yes.
Thank you. Richard
welcome.
Lee,
Yes.
Angela Springs,
Yes.
Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
thank you very much. All right, moving on to agenda item number 6. Approval of an updated letter requesting a council file to implement more effective measures and resources for illegal dumping in Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council and throughout the city of Los Angeles. We'll be screen sharing the letter for you guys to read. Let me see if I can bring it up. All right. Screen share. All right, here's the letter for everyone to see. Can everyone see this letter? I'm assuming that's a yes. Hello?
Yes,
Okay, so before we, start put out a motion, I'll just read the letter so everyone can, who's listening through the phone, can get an idea what the letter says. So February 16, 2023, Council Member Tim McCosker, Council Member Marquise Harris Dawson, and then there's the address from City Hall. So it says, Dear Council Members Tim McCosker and Harris Dawson, on February the 14th, 2023, our board voted XXX to request that you create a council file which would propose various measures to address the major and continual illegal dumping issues impacting the quality of life in our neighborhoods. As an area impacted by 3 freeways whose underpasses are magnets for illegal dumping, and with a number of alleys where illegal dumping occurs regularly, the issue is a particularly important one to our stakeholders. Besides knowing calls to 311 and efforts of sanitation, our stakeholders and other volunteers spend hours every year cleaning up the illegal dumping, only to find the locations returned to the same state a few days later overnight. We have previously requested enforcement in cameras. In May 2021, after reading former City Controller Ron Gaplin's report piling up addressing LA's illegal dumping problem, we sent a similar letter to our previous council member, Joe Buscino, and council member Harris Dawson, requesting that a council file to be created to study, create, and fund a pilot project to experiment with some of the following solutions. Solution 1 was, or is, LA San should conduct a formal staffing needs assessment to determine how many environmental compliance inspectors and officers are able to fully support fully support the unit's investigation, inspection, and emergency response mandates. It should also consider reorganizing the unit to create a section dedicated to emergency response and illegal dumping investigations, and a section dedicated to regulatory inspections of industrial and commercial facilities. Point number 2, a more robust surveillance camera program targeted on the major illegal dumping sites based on existing service requests. Point number 3, creation of a coordinated illegal dumping enforcement strategy and working group with LA Sanitation as the lead agency in coordination with Bureau of Street Services, Department of Building and Safety, LAPD, and the City Attorney's Office. The Department of Building and Safety has reported that unpermitted construction projects and work performed by unlicensed contractors are a source of illegal dumping, illegally dumped construction waste. The working group would identify the root causes of illegal dumping, coordination of enforcement activities, and case referrals, data sharing, and enhanced enforcement of waste hauling regulations to ensure that businesses and residents properly dispose of waste. Point number 4, consideration of substantially increasing fines for those found guilty of illegal dumping, along with wide-ranging publicity of prosecution of those found guilty of illegal dumping, especially repeated offenders. Point number 5, LA Sanitation should reorganize the Environmental Enforcement and Emergency Response Unit. The reorganization should include dedicated units for 1, illegal dumping investigations and other environmental enforcement activities, and 2, MS for industrial and commercial facility inspections. This would include a dedicated sworn public officer classification for environmental compliance officer positions to improve recruitment and retention. Point number 6, we also support subsidizing the cost for haulers to dump legally, offering more community dumpster days, once a month bulky item pickup days for a neighborhood, regularly scheduled cleanups at known and illegal dumping sites, such as under freeway overpasses and alleys, free dump days, vouchers for free dumping, and expanded public awareness programs regarding free bulky item pickup, laws regarding illegal dumping, and free and low-cost waste disposal services available. Another suggestion is to post signs at the dumping sites to advise reporting illegal dumping to 311 with the 3 ways of doing that: telephone call, website, or via the app on a cell phone. We believe that the cost of these new approaches to illegal dumping would end up being less expensive and more effective in the long run than the approach of the city is using now, and result in a higher quality of life for all stakeholders. And we offer our neighborhood council area as a test site for these proposed new approaches. Sincerely, Miguel Vasquez, Chairperson of the Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council. All right, do we have a motion to approve of this letter? Hello?
Rosalie makes the motion.
All right.
I'll second it.
All right, thank you, Keith. All right, do we have any comments or questions or concerns on this letter? All right, it seems that we don't have any comments, questions, or concerns, and then we'll move on to vote in support of this letter. Okay, Rosalie?
Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacobs, Rosalie Preston, yes. Piers Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Harvey Powell,
Yes.
Jodette Span,
Yes.
Lorenzo Johnson,
Yes.
William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Richard Lee,
Yes.
Angela Springs,
Yes.
Craig Kusanokey,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you very much, Rosalie. All right, moving on to agenda item number 7. Approval of a letter to Amanda Bettinelli, Assistant U.S. Attorney of Environmental Justice Coordinator, listing the worst illegal dumping sites within the Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council boundaries. All right, for those who are listening on their phone, I will be reading the letter. So it says right here, Dear Ms. Bettinelli, after your presentation to our neighborhood council at our January 24th, 2023 general membership meeting, our board voted XXX on February 14th, 2023 to send you a listing of sites where illegal dumping regularly occurs within our neighborhood council area, often on a weekly basis or not, if not in a daily case, in some cases. So the list here is as follows. Sanford Avenue under the 105 freeway, San Pedro Street under the 105 freeway, 116th Place west of San Pedro Street, Main Street under the 105 freeway, 117th Street from Figueroa Street to Broadway, Hoover Street under the 105 freeway, south side of El Segundo Boulevard at Menlo Avenue, alley north of 129th Street and east of Menlo Avenue, alley south of 129th Street and east of Menlo Avenue, alley south of 134th Street and north of 135th Street School, Alondra Boulevard under the 110 freeway, Gardena Boulevard under the 110 freeway, Estrella west of 110th freeway, from 164th Street to 168th Street, 168th Street under the 110 freeway. We look forward to working with your office to more effectively address this chronic issue through utilizing federal investigation of violators and strong enforcement of laws prohibiting illegal dumping. Sincerely, Miguel Vasquez, Chairperson, Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council. And I believe Rosalie, Lou Watson also.
Yes, I wanted to mention that since our draft letter was published, several people have contacted us with additional locations. On behalf of District 5, Lou Watson has sent us about 5 or 6 other locations that we'll add in per her email. And Keith Pitts pointed out that near the end, Denver, between Gardena Boulevard and 168th needs to be added.
Okay.
Also, a stakeholder pointed out that 116th place between Vermont Avenue and Hoover Street should be added.
Mhm.
So are there any others besides those?
Craig?
I would add Estrella off of 135th, right along the freeway on Estrella.
Okay, Estrella, north of 135th, the
Right.
cul-de-sac, okay.
Yes, Lou?
Okay, are we gonna see the final letter before it's signed and sent off? Because I have a correction to one of the items on the list that I submitted.
Just send us that correction.
Okay, will we see a copy of this letter before it goes out?
We'll send you a draft to make sure everything is as you submitted.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Any more additional sites? All right, if not, then we'll file a motion. Is there a motion that file a motion to approve of this letter?
I make a motion that we approve the letter with the amendments.
All right, thank you. Do we have a second?
Second,
All right, who was that? Jody?
Harvey.
Harvey, okay. All right.
Okay, vote on the letter with the additional locations. Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacobs. Rosalie Preston, yes. Piers Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Harvey Powell,
yes,
Jodette Span,
Yes.
Lorenzo Johnson,
Yes.
William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Richard Lee,
Yes.
Angela Springs,
Yes.
Craig Kusanokey.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
All right, thank you very much, Rosalie. All right, moving on to agenda number item 8, approval of a letter requesting posted street sweeping signs throughout HDNC District 1 with a particular focus on Denver Avenue between Gardena Boulevard and 168th Street and Gardena Boulevard from Figueroa Street to Vermont Avenue. I believe I have the letter right here. I'll be reading it. Let's see. This is right here. Dear Councilmember McCosker, on February 14, 2023, our board voted XXX to request that a regular street sweeping route be created and funded to cover our District 1 area, which runs from the south side of Alondra Boulevard into the Merritt Track north of the 191 freeway and from the west side of Figueroa Street to the east side of Vermont Avenue. Particular focus of the route would be Gardena Boulevard from Figueroa Street to Vermont Avenue, Denver Avenue from Gardena Boulevard to 168th Street, and 168th Street under the 110th freeway. All locations where there is regular accumulation of trash along the street curbs. Sincerely, Miguel Vasquez, Chairperson of the Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council. All right. Let's see, let me bring this up. So do we have a motion to approve of a letter requesting posted street sweeping signs throughout the Harbor Gateway North Neighborhood Council District 1 boundaries with a particular focus on Denver Avenue?
I'm screaming, making that motion.
Okay, thank you very much, Keith. All right, do we have a second?
second,
All right, thank you very
Harvey.
much, Harvey. All right, any discussions, any comments, questions, concerns about this letter? All right, if not, then we'll move on and vote.
Okay, Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacobs, Rosalie Preston, yes. Piers Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Harvey Powell,
yes,
Jodette Span,
Yes.
Lorenzo Johnson,
Yes.
William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson, yes, I think you're saying yes. Okay, thank you. Richard
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
Angela Springs,
Yes.
Craig Kusanokey.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
All right. Moving on, agenda item number 9, outreach events. 9A is the 2023 board election vote by mail request period. Open now. I believe it was open January 31st till March 13th. Any information about that, Rosalie? Just that, you know, any stakeholders that are interested in voting for the election can do so, right, through either paper ballot, paper, right, correct?
Right, there's three
forms.
ways. Basically, either create an account, the Angelino account, like the candidates did, and then register to vote online. You, because we are a neighborhood council that requires documentation, you would need to upload ideally a copy of your current driver's license or California ID. And that's just so that the city clerk can verify you're at least age 16 for voting. And also it would have your current address. If you don't have those, we can explain the city clerk has a documentation list, but it gets more complicated if you don't live within the neighborhood council. There's documentation that has to be provided if you work, own property, or are a community interest stakeholder. So then the other way, the second way is there is a paper application which the neighborhood council has printed, one side English, one side Spanish, and we filled in our neighborhood council name. So if anyone wishes those, let me know, we'll drop them off. And you can then fill that out, make a copy of your ID or other form of documentation and mail that to the city clerk. The address is on the application. Or you can fill out the application, take a photo of it with your phone and a photo of your ID and email the city clerk. That email is also on the application, and attach the completed registration form and your ID or other documentation. And then the third way is to show up on Saturday, April 1st between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our in-person voting location, which is the Home Assembly Church on Figueroa, just south of 135th Street, 13515 South Figueroa Street. And you'll just need to go up to the city clerk, show your ID or other documentation. And I don't know if they will have you fill out the paper form or have you fill out something online to verify, especially for those who are going to be voting within their districts for their district representatives. Our bylaws state you must live within that particular district to vote. And we will have a free shred van between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on site to encourage people to vote, or if you've already voted by mail, you can still come and use the shred van. If you've applied for your vote by mail ballot, which they are supposed to start arriving late this month, but they'll keep arriving until some days before the in-person voting. Then if you want, rather than mail it in, you can complete it and take it and turn it in on April 1st. And the city clerk is allowing about 10 days after April 1st, I believe, for any mail-in ballots to arrive. On April 1st, the city clerk will have a list of those who they've already received their vote by mail ballots. So those people cannot vote twice. And the ballots that come in after their first deadline and after April 1st, they will double check those to make sure that those people did not vote in person and then also submit a vote by mail ballot. So there's only one vote per person. And I don't know if Angela wants to talk. She and Janet Mitchell from the Outreach Committee have experimented with giving out the voter registration forms at the 118th Street School.
Well, we went out on Wednesday, and basically we had people to sign up and to take the applications, but I think the instructions and different things like that need to be in Spanish, because basically gearing to most of our neighborhoods are Hispanics, and a lot of them don't understand. So we tried to get them to fill it out, but it was impossible. So if anything, I believe to encourage each voter to try to come out on April the 1st, so that we can basically instruct and direct, or even to let them know how to, fill it out if they don't understand something. Because it's sort of hard to get them to mail whatever needs to be mailed in.
So
That's what
we have, yes, we did create instructions in English, and they have now been translated into Spanish. So I have all that ready for you if you're gonna go out again. Let me
Yeah,
know.
we're just trying to get to 116th Street. They just wanted the information, probably not so much for us to set up a tabling for the election, but I was trying to explain to them that we would like to be there just in case they have questions, so that they can be able to understand if they wanted to mail their application in. So that'll be great on the part, everything being in Spanish would be great. Only the application is in Spanish, not the instructions.
So you're planning on just sending these forms, the translated instructions on how to request a voter by mail ballot at the 116th Elementary School?
Yes, yes.
You're not doing a tabling event, so you're just
I
sending.
don't think we will be able to do the tabling. She
Okay.
didn't give a yes on that, but she just wanted us to send the information to the school, and I believe they was just let the parents actually know about the election. So
Right,
we
but
didn't
then
get
that's
we
kind
didn't get
of-
official yes.
Yeah, but the thing is, well, my question is that how are they going to get any questions answered? I mean, you just send it.
Well, we have our number on the instructions. If they would like to call, or either they can call the city.
Speakers, do you have someone that can just speak to them in Spanish, or?
Well, it would be our office
Well,
members.
we
Okay, got it.
if we do table, and wait a minute, Rosalie, if we have an interpreter there with us, if we do table, it would be great. It would be really great. But if not, then they are requesting the information to be there.
All right, so but if you're planning on tabling it, when do you think you're going to do that?
Well, we was requesting on Wednesdays, because I'm off on Wednesdays, and so is Janet. So I have not received an answer back from her. So tomorrow is Wednesday, so we're not going on Wednesday. So we try to see if we can get that.
Perhaps like next Wednesday, right?
Yeah, we'll try to see if we can get next Wednesday. That's the only day that I can go. But if someone else can go, that'll be fine on a date that they can.
Yeah, I think if we're doing it, if you're going to do it next Wednesday, which is on the 22nd, I have to do it because I don't work that day.
Oh, okay.
I could gladly assist to translate something.
Okay, well, that'd be great. I will try to see if I can communicate more better with her, since we have a Spanish translator.
Dora, right? Correct. Principal Dora Rosa, right?
Huh?
Dora Rosa, correct?
I talked to I think her name was Miss B or somebody. They call her over there, Spark somebody.
Okay.
I forgot her name, but she popular. I believe her secretary.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll just find out. We'll figure it out when that.
Yeah. Okay.
And if it doesn't work out for 116th on that February 22nd, maybe you could experiment with a table outside the Boys and Girls Club on Gardena Boulevard.
That too.
Okay. So
around the time when the parents are coming, and there's a lot of people walking on Gardena Boulevard.
Okay, so what time would that be on Wednesday though?
Well, I think
When the
it's
kids-
around. Well, you'd have to check with the Boys and Girls Club, but maybe like 5 o'clock or,
Oh, yeah, that's tight. That's a tight schedule for me right there, 5 o'clock on Wednesdays. I try to at least do things in the daytime. I mean, trying to get dark about 5:30. But anyway, so we can work with it. We'll try to see if what hours, someone else can be there to do tabling. And is there a lot of Hispanics as well, non-speaking people there?
in that, yes, along
In the
Gardena
area?
Boulevard, yes.
Yeah, okay. So we would actually really need somebody that is available on there. Miguel, if you are available to see what day we can go to the
Yeah,
Boys and
definitely.
Girls.
Yeah, so my schedule kind of alternates. So yeah, that particular Wednesday I don't work, so we're good to go.
Okay, well, we have to check and see.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just keep me posted. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
we'll also have the voting information at our table for our Black History Month event at Rosecrans Recreation.
Right.
That's a perfect.
So
segue.
while she mentioned that, then I might as well just give the report.
Okay.
I need to ask some questions. Go ahead, Miguel. I
Oh, yeah, that's a perfect segue. I mean, yeah, we're going to talk about the Black History Month program that's going to be on February the 25th at the Rosecrans Recreational Center at, I believe, at 11 p.m., right?
Yeah, 11
Sorry.
p.m. to 3. It's already been approved. So my next question is that we need to get the flyers. Rosalie did Minuteman Press say when they're going to be available so that each person that would like flyers to pass them out in their district, in their neighborhoods.
Right, I'm gonna send it over tomorrow because we just got the notice of approval, so.
Okay, so when you think they'll be ready? So
Hopefully by Friday or Monday.
okay. So in that saying that those of you that would like flyers, and maybe Rosalie, you can get in contact with Rosalie to get some. We appreciate it. So we want each district, District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4, District 5, District 6, District 7, and 8 to have flyers to be put out into their areas. This is the way that we can be able to advertise our Harbor Gateway Neighborhood Council by each person having flyers, taking the flyers for like events, not just only for the Black History, but events that we do have. So if each representative can do that for their area, it'll be great. And then at least we'll know the word will get out to, passing out flyers to your neighbors and different things like that. And we're gonna have a great time. So we have lined up some things for you singing, dancing. We'll have a fashion show. Jackson's going to be of our fashion show. So you want to come and wear your African attires. If you would like to be in a fashion show, you can see Jackie or call Jackie, and Jackie can, if she don't have her information, she can give it to you. So we are planning on having a great time. So we asking each and everyone to come out and let's celebrate our Black History Month. Is there any questions?
And I just want to add that the LA City's advisory commission on reparations will have a table to give out information, and at this point, they're really seeking people to fill out a survey on what they think the reparations should be like. And also they will have information on, I'm trying to remember the proper name for it. It's the funds that were reallocated at one point from the LAPD. And now in each repair zones, I think they're called. And I believe that our neighborhood council falls in 2 different repair zones, one for South LA and one for the harbor area. So that's something we want to learn more about, what the boundaries of those zones are. And there's a certain amount of money allocated to each zone to fund like social services and other things that would help to repair I think it's the impacts of discrimination in the past, but we need to learn more details. There really is not that much money for each repair zone for each year. So I think at this point, they may be seeking input on what the priorities for the spending should be. So it's a chance for us to learn more about that too.
All right. Okay, excellent. And then another outreach event is the HGNC Candidate Forum, which will be held on a Tuesday, March 7th via Zoom. So Rosalie, about that, will that be in our Zoom account? I'm not really sure if we're going to still have a license at that point. Or is it?
As I understand it from the budget advocates interview with, or from the monthly profile,
Mhm.
the budget advocates had an interview with Department Head Raquel Beltran on the department's budget. It's my understanding those Zoom accounts run through March, I believe. And that's why next month at our board meeting, we're going to have to vote on whether we're going to start paying for it. So our Zoom account should cover the candidate forum.
All right, sounds good. And I'll just figure out how to create break rooms.
Right, or yeah, you can get advice on whether that's possible.
Correct. Okay, sounds good. All right, and then neighborhood team program online monthly classes which began on February the 2nd. So I believe that's posted on our website. Correct, Rosalie? But I think a good suggestion is to have that post pinned on the top of our news section, right, of the website.
We'll have it moved up to the top shortly before, maybe a week before the next session, which will be March the 2nd. And there is an item in our constant contact newsletter every time we send it out. And the coordinator, Chin T, whose last name I still cannot pronounce, he indicated that people can join at any time. And I believe there'll be a recording to catch up on the previous sessions. But basically, it's a way for people to organize their block and to get to know your neighbors so that in the event of a major emergency, you can come together to meet and share information, know who has the generators so that people who have medications that need to be refrigerated, baby formula, etc., those people would donate that power. If people who have nursing skills, etc., and then there's a plan that at a certain point, once we can get more of the blocks organized, our neighborhood council would hold a role-playing day, maybe a Saturday, and then all the blocks would work on their discussions, and then you have a neighborhood area has a designated meeting site. And then you share information. Hopefully there's people who have the two-way radios, ham radios, that can communicate with other districts and help to bring any needed resources where they're needed, to kind of share resources. There is an element in the future, if we get that organized, where you designate sites, possibly in a church or a business, but it would have to be a site that's available during an emergency to have access, and then you store extra supplies there. And the neighborhood team program has that list, but you know, that's a whole other issue, and it would involve funding. And I don't know that we're ever going to be able to fund that many sites. But anyway, at least the organization part we can do. And then the neighborhood team program has practices throughout the city. For example, the West Adams area is one that has a neighborhood team program organized, and they do drills, and Palms Rancho does drills. So if we get to that point, you know, we can encourage those block people who are ready to participate in those other exercises, you know, to give us more preparation.
All right, well, thank you very much, Rosalie. All right, moving on to agenda item number 10, administrative motions. Approval of the January 10th, 2023 board minutes. Do we have a motion?
I so move to approve those minutes.
Thank you very much, Joan. Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, let's vote.
Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacob,
Yes, and I would just like to say that I said yes to all the other letters and so forth, but I was muted and unable to mute myself because I was on the phone.
okay.
So, you know, I needed to be muted by somebody there.
Oh, unmuted by Miguel, I guess, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Mute yourself.
Okay, all right, Joan, thank you for your
Welcome.
update.
Thank you.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Piers Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Harvey Powell,
Yes.
Jodette Span,
Yes.
Lorenzo Johnson. Is Lorenzo still here?
Let me see. I believe he's not.
Okay. William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Richard Lee,
Yes,
Angela Springs,
Yes.
Craig Kusunoki.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
All right, thank you. All right, approval of the January 24th, 2023 general membership minutes. Do we have a motion to approve of these minutes?
I motion it.
All right, thank you very much, Jodette. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you very much, Marvy. All right,
Miguel Vasquez,
yes.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Piers Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Harvey Powell,
Yes.
Jodette Span,
Yes.
William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Richard Lee,
yes,
Angela Springs,
Yes.
Craig Kusanokey,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right. Approval of the January 31st, 2023 special board minutes. Do we have a motion?
I so move to approve the minutes of January the 23rd,
31st.
January 23 special board minutes.
Thank you very much, Joan. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, Jodette, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so let's vote.
Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Piers Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Arby Powell,
Yes.
Jodette Span,
Yes.
Lorenzo John, oh, no, okay, William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Richard Lee,
Yes.
Angela Springs,
Yes.
Craig Kusanokey.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
All right. Approval of the January 2023 monthly expenditure report. I believe I have it right here. All right. Can everyone see the, can everyone see this document?
Yes, I can see it.
All right, so I guess Pierce, you can give us an overview of what we are seeing right now.
Yeah, just go ahead and scroll down to the expenditures.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so my own comment is there was a lot of quite a bit went out this month and last month. If you look down at the go down to the outstanding expenditures, Miguel, you'll see there's $4,500 that's still out there, basically waiting to be cashed. That's a lot of the flyers, the flyer printing and delivery for the general membership meeting, and also the candidate postcards. So we had quite a few expenses in the last couple of months with those items. So that's why it was a little bit higher. And also we have two rent payments out there of $650. So it's all kind of added up. The only thing I would say is that the budget is looking good. I think I sent a note, Miguel, to say that we'd got another $500 addition to the budget from the city. That may have been a refund for something we've already paid, but that kind of helps. So in terms of the budget, we're in very good shape. And certainly, you know, I don't know if you said it before, but certainly kudos to Rosalie for pushing everything along with the move of the office, because that's really going to, you know, pay dividends for the rest of this year and certainly next year. Even later on, as you see, we're going to have to pay for meeting rooms. That's easily going to be offset by the money we've saved by getting this reduced rent. So that certainly helped a lot.
Excellent.
So just so you know, there's about $17,000 left in the budget.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I believe it's 17,000. Okay, sounds good.
And I just want to comment that we finally got everything moved into our new office by the city movers, which did not cost us, thankfully. And Conica did move the copy machine into the new office, which they've never sent their bill for $120. So I don't know if I should remind them or not. But the last part is getting the landline moved over, and it just seems to be very difficult. There's some kind of form that the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment has to fill out, and I don't know if Freddie's ever been informed, and I have to follow up. There's someone in funding or done that was going to work on that, but it's just taken forever. And it would authorize then AT&T through the CalNet program to come out and connect the phone in the new office. So that's the last part. And then we can turn over our key to building management, and that's the end of the old office.
All right, so do we have, is there a motion to approve the January 2023 monthly expenditure report?
Rosalie makes the motion.
All right, thank you very much, Rosalie. Do we have a second?
Joan seconds.
All right, thank you, John.
Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Pierce Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Harvey Powell,
Yes.
Jodette Span,
Yes.
William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Richard Lee,
Yes.
Angela Springs,
Yes.
Craig Kusanokii.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Approval of the $595 to the for the LAUSD permit to use the 135th Street from March to June 2023. Do we have a motion to approve the $595 LAUSD permit?
I make the motion. Rosalie,
Thank you very much, Rosalie. Do we have a second?
Joan second.
All right, thank you, John.
so I would just like to explain that before COVID, when we were using LAUSD, we would file a permit for, well, we used to do it by the quarter. They had these certain quarters. But then they started, the LAUSD started the process where for each permit request, you had to pay a certain amount of money, which I remembered it being something like $98, but currently it's $90 for each permit request. And so we just put we would apply and put all the dates for the whole year on one permit request. So this time we're doing it for the remainder of this fiscal year, which is 5 meetings. But whereas in the past, we were not charged the $38 per hour custodial fee because the custodian was already on the campus until 9:30 as a form of security, I think, but also they were, cleaning up various parts of the school. Now LAUSD insists on charging that. So whereas before it cost under $100 for each permit request, now it's substantially more. So we did not expect that, and that's why we submitted the permit for use of the school. But meanwhile, we have talked with the building management, Armonia Investments, in the building where we have our office, and they said that we can use the downstairs meeting room, which would be fine for board meetings, regular board meetings, but they would charge $100 per meeting. And so we have another vote later, well, the next item on the agenda, because we were thinking that for some of the planning and land use committee meetings, if we had an applicant and it was a really maybe contentious topic and a lot of stakeholders showed up and the applicant representatives, our office would not be adequate for that committee meeting, and we would need to rent that bigger meeting room space downstairs. so originally we were just gonna vote on a few $100s just in case, but at this point, I just wanted clarification from Freddie, and maybe we'll vote on each one. And then, because the issue is that we just found out from funding that we can use our office for the committee meetings because that was part of our office agreement in the lease. But I just wondered, would that cover a different room in the building? Freddie, do you know that? Because otherwise, to use that room, we have to go through a permission through the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, which we could try to do that and see if we could get it authorized before the March board meeting.
So Rosalie, with that secondary location, is that within the same building or that's a different building?
Same building,
Just a different room?
yes.
And is the room type similar?
It's just, I mean, it's bigger than our office, but it's,
Because what needs to at least be open and accessible to the public. And when you're starting to go back in person, you know, you're gonna have signs to guide people to go to that room. And that the agenda specifically states the room number that it'll be, that the meeting will occur in. Along with the physical address.
yeah, we would do that.
If the building met the ADA, you know, requirements, and the city clerk approved the lease, I don't see how that would, you know, there would be a prevention of another room if it's, especially if it's bigger, for board meetings or committee meetings to occur. However, that's something that I do want to make sure we do not step on the toes of the city clerk because they're the decision makers when it comes to meeting locations.
Okay, so my recommendation is that we approve both. And then we'll go through the city clerk to make sure, but that if they do approve the use of the meeting room 185, that's what we would do for the 4 board meetings between March and June. And we would only, we would reapply for the 135th Street School only for the April 25th general membership meeting. Because theoretically, there could be 50 people there, which is, you know, it's a little tight in that room 185, I think. Although I guess for the CERT classes, they had that many people. So that would give us the option once we found out to, but ideally we would meet at 555 West Redondo Beach Boulevard for our board meetings in room 185. The room is directly in front of the glass front doors, and we would make sure that it's easy for people to get through the glass front doors. I believe they can be propped open, and it's just a more comfortable place to meet than in the auditorium of the 135th Street School. It's easier for the board to speak and for the stakeholders to hear what's going on. It's a more conducive atmosphere for discussion and sharing of information. And there are easily accessible bathrooms. We have the keys for those, and that's something at the 135th Street School. The closest bathrooms are really children's size, and there is an adult bathroom, but you have to go through the kitchen area to get to it. So that would be my recommendation, that we vote to support both, but if we can get permission to use the room 185 at 555, we would go with that for our board meetings.
All right, so we voted on that, right? The approval of the $595.
No, so I made the motion. Was it Joan who seconded or?
I believe so, yes, so.
Okay.
Yep, I did.
Okay, so we'll vote on this and depending on what the city clerk says, we'll proceed. I mean, do people have an opinion? One way or the other?
Well, so then, okay, so then with the 135th Street School, then, okay, we already got the permit.
No,
so-
we do not. We do not.
Oh,
We submitted it and we found out the cost and that's when we were shocked.
mm,
So if we vote for that and the city clerk doesn't have objection to us meeting at 555 in room 185, we will redo our LAUSD permit just for the one date. And that would lower the cost to closer to $200.
oh, okay. I
And
got you.
then we would pay Harmonia Investments $400 for board meetings, and then we would have an extra 300 if we need to have a bigger committee meeting in there.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is just to carry us through June and then we'll reevaluate.
Okay. I would also like to mention that 555, the parking space is a little bit more, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's an important point. It's much easier for stakeholders to park and have a shorter distance to walk, and there's a lot more handicap parking spaces too.
At which one, Rosalie? At
At-
555?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if no other comments, we'll vote on the LAUSD. Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Pierce Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yes.
Harvey Powell,
Yes.
Jodette Span,
Yes.
William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Richard Lee,
Yes.
Angela Springs, is Angela still here?
Let me see, I believe no, she's not.
Okay. Craig Kusanokii,
Yes.
okay, motion passes.
Finally, approval of the $700 to cover possible meeting room. 1-5 at 555 West Redondo Beach Boulevard for large committee meetings at a cost of $100 per meeting. All right, do we have a motion to approve of a $700 cost to cover possible use of meeting room at the 555 Redondo Beach Boulevard for large committee meetings?
And actually, let's make the motion to be larger committee meetings and board meetings.
All right. I believe Keith,
Yeah.
you have a second?
I second Joan.
Thank you, John.
Okay. From the house down, be the book barrel and total
Okay,
trash.
if there's no other comments, or then we'll do the vote. Miguel Vasquez,
Yes.
Joan Jacobs,
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Pierce Fairclough,
Yes.
Keith Pitts,
Yeah.
Harvey Powell,
Yes.
Jodette Span,
Yes.
William Yates,
Yes.
Jackie Jackson,
Yes.
Richard Lee, Richard,
He's here. I just had to
Okay.
mute him because there was a lot of background noise coming from his end.
okay. Richard Lee, are you voting on the,
Yes,
thank you.
I said yes, I was muted, I'm sorry.
Okay. Angela Springs,
She's not here.
oh, right, okay. Craig Kusanokey,
Yes.
okay, motion passes.
All right. Moving on to agenda item number 11, board businesses / announcements. All right, any reports from committee chairs?
May I say, sir?
All right, if not, then we'll move on to item 11B, brief announcements from board members. The only board announcements that I can think of is the in-person meetings that were resumed as of March 1st. All right, that will be.
Although it sounded from what Freddie said that
It,
there could be some changes, possibly, but not right away. So I guess we'll expect to meet in person for our March board meeting.
okay, until things, I think settled down, right?
Right, because in case the state of California authorizes the exception for neighborhood councils to meet by Zoom, then yes, we won't know at that time.
All right, sounds good. Well, if there isn't any other announcements, then we will adjourn this meeting at 8:21 p.m. All right, thank you everyone for attending tonight's meeting. We'll be meeting in person on March 1st at the 135th Street Elementary School, and I believe Rosalie at 7.
It's March 14th, March 14th.
Oh, yeah, March 14th. yeah.
And however, it will be at 555 if we can get the permission.
Right, so pending, right? The
Pending, yes. We'll let everyone know as soon as possible.
All right, sounds good. All right,
We
thank-
are going to need, to, unless we already have, but change the address that goes out. Oh, it isn't there right now, right? It isn't there anymore, the school address. Because it's always on our meeting flyers, the school address.
Well, the agendas will still be required to be posted there.
Okay. But that's, okay.
But the address, I have to go
We just
back
have
to the old format where instead of the Zoom information, it will state the location at the top of the agenda.
That's good, yes, because it wasn't doing that last, a while back, I know. But anyway, good, thank you.
Eva,
That's
you have a question?
I did. When you began meeting in person, are you still doing Zoom also for stakeholders?
So.
No, not in the beginning because the department hasn't worked out the hybrid meeting format. That's what, at the meeting with the budget advocates where the department manager Raquel Beltran was interviewed. That's what she seemed to indicate is that,
Freddie has some.
Rosalie?
more information.
Rosalie?
so Freddie can comment more on that.
That the email I sent to the board, which was to sign up for February 23rd or February 25th, our department will be going over those details specifically for how we're going to go back in person for neighborhood councils, that process, explaining AB 2449 and how it amended the Brown Act. The board, to give you a little synopsis, the board must elect to choose teleconferencing as an option that will be made available for board members and the public if the board chooses to continue with Zoom. But no matter what, the board will be in person. The limited teleconferencing option will apply to board members. If the board chooses to do a teleconferencing option, then your agenda will have a physical meeting location, the Zoom link ID and the phone number, so they can enter however many times they want, either in person, virtual, or on the phone. But as a board member, you will be limited and restricted to no more than 3 meetings per calendar year to participate remotely. But more of this will be explained in detail as to the limitations and the reasons for the use of remote participation. That's the reason why in my report I stated earlier about SB 411, which was just introduced last week, because that will change how neighborhood councils can meet virtually indefinitely, which will change the whole Brown Act yet again. But again, please sign up, register. I can forward you the email again to the whole board so that you can attend either Thursday or the Saturday information session.
Okay. All right, thank you, Freddie.
Well, all right, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Right.
Good night.
Night.
Honorable Judge Abby Stoneman, are very calm and respectful